Hello, and welcome back to Mirrored History. Today we're diving into the stories of Frankenstein's creature and the biblical Adam, and exploring how the creature's journey reflects the experience of modern humanity. By the end of this video, you'll see how a tale of creation and rejection reveals one of the deepest pains we all share as humans. To begin, I'd like to establish an understanding of both the creature and Adam before exploring the connection between the two, beginning with the creature. If you haven't read Frankenstein, written by Mary Shelley in 1818, you may be surprised to know that the mainstream character that we're all familiar with is not in fact named Frankenstein. The being himself, the one we usually picture as the green monster, was never actually given a name. In fact, his lack of a name is a key part of the character's identity or lack thereof. For this video, we will refer to him by the commonly used name, the creature. The lack of a name underscores the creature's alienation and struggle for identity, making his experiences of rejection central to the novel's exploration of humanity, as the creature feels he has no place in the world. Unlike the simple and oftentimes dumbed-down version of the creature we see in movies, the real creature is a self-taught genius and full of emotional depth. He teaches himself to read and write by observing others, using books like John Milton's Paradise Lost and Plutarch's Lives to understand human language and history. Now moving to Adam. Most are familiar with the biblical Adam from the story Adam and Eve. In this video, we will see Adam through the lenses of the biblical figure, the Adam of Paradise Lost, and the present-day human. The creature is often compared to figures like the fallen angel, but I want to focus on his comparison to Adam. Even though the creature himself admits that he cannot fully relate to Adam because he sees Adam as loved by his creator, given a place in the world, and connected to something greater. This very awareness makes the creature more human than he realizes, by revealing a deeply human trait, believing others are more whole, more loved, and more at peace than we are. The creature begins his life in a confusion of sensory overload, being essentially born into a fully grown human body, completely alone and naked since Frankenstein, horrified by his own creation, abandoned him the moment he opened his eyes and took his first breath. Once he can make sense of his surroundings and move his body, he leaves the place of his birth, his only connection to his creator, and begins to wander. As his senses sharpen, he starts to perceive the world more clearly for the first time. Eventually, he finds himself in a forest near Ingolstadt, Germany, where exhaustion forces him to rest. It's here he first experiences hunger, loneliness, and sorrow, feelings entirely new to him. This moment mirrors Adam and Eve, beings once untouched by pain or want, who only came to know suffering after gaining self-awareness, after leaving the garden. Like them, the creature's awakening marks both the beginning of his knowledge and the loss of his innocence. As the creature said once he was in the forest, "It was dark when I awoke. I felt cold also and half frightened, as it were, instinctively, finding myself so desolate. I was a poor, helpless, miserable wretch. I knew and could distinguish nothing, but feeling pain invade me on all sides, I sat down and wept." The creature's first experience in the forest shows how incomplete he is, burdened by both physical and emotional needs, yet without the guidance to understand and solve them. His suffering is the price of being alive, as Shakespeare writes in Hamlet, the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. Adam, too, is born in perfect innocence, though he is not alone for long. His creator is there to guide him, to give him companionship in the garden. God creates the animals for him to live with, and though Adam recognizes that they are different from him, they all exist in harmony. Like Adam, the creature awakens surrounded by life, the trees, the sky, and the songs of the birds. But where Adam lived in harmony with nature, the creature can only observe that harmony, but not take part in it. There are moments when he attempts to be a part of it, like his first encounter with the birds. I was delighted when I first discovered that a pleasant sound which often saluted my ears proceeded from the throats of the little winged animals who had often intercepted the light from my eyes. Sometimes I wished to express my sensations in my own mode, but the uncouth and inarticulate sounds which broke from me frightened me into silence again. Nature accepts Adam as part of its design, but for the creature, it's a mirror that reflects his difference. He sees beauty everywhere, just not in himself. The creature develops in this way from here on out alone in nature, discovering which foods are edible, that fire burns, but that fire can also be good. It warms food, provides comfort, and illuminates the darkness. Through these discoveries, he mirrors humanity's earliest steps towards understanding and mastery of the natural world. His progress continues when he encounters the DeLacy family living in their secluded cabin, which he secretly watches through a hole in the wall, in hopes of learning enough so that he can emulate them and gain their acceptance when the time comes to reveal himself. By observing them and studying the books he finds, the creature learns language, literacy, and ultimately transforms his inarticulate sounds into poetic, expressive speech. In this way, the creature serves as a microcosm of human intellectual evolution, from the discovery of fire to the rise of civilization. Additionally, his time observing the family parallels the way human societies have advanced through contact, trade, and the exchange of ideas across cultures. Beyond intellectual development, the creature's growth also mirrors humanity's moral and emotional evolution. As he gains awareness, he begins to reflect on right and wrong, recognizing the link between his own misery and his action towards others. This moral awakening parallels humanity's emergence into ethical self-consciousness, the realization that knowledge and emotion carry responsibility. His longing for companionship and the pain of rejection reveal another layer of human evolution, the dependence on social connection and the consequences of exclusion. Initially innocent and benevolent, the creature's transformation into vengeance highlights a Rousseau-like tension, that civilization refines human nature while also corrupting it through inequality and alienation, which bothered the creature in both his observance of the poor DeLacy family as well as numerous accounts of history in Plutarch's lives. From here we can begin to observe the fall of man and likewise the fall of Frankenstein's creature. Adam and Eve ate the forbidden fruit and gained knowledge they were never meant to possess, dooming themselves. This story echoes that of Prometheus, who stole fire from the gods and gave it to humanity, another act of defying divine limits to claim forbidden power. In punishment, Zeus orders the creation of Pandora, the first woman, whose curiosity led her to open the box that unleashed all of the world's suffering, leaving only hope trapped inside the box, just as Eve's curiosity brought about the fall. This connection becomes especially significant when we remember that the full title of Mary Shelley's novel is Frankenstein, or The Modern Prometheus. Though Adam, Eve, Pandora, and Victor Frankenstein all made choices that doomed them, the creature was the result and unattended consequence of this choice, which he did not make himself. While Adam did the forbidden, the creature was the forbidden. He also wants to be Adam in the sense that he wants to live the idealized human life, as he says to Victor, "I am thy creature. I ought to be thy Adam, but rather I am the fallen angel, whom thou drivest from joy for no misdeed. Everywhere I see bliss from which I alone am irrecoverably excluded." For the fall of the creature, his is much more of a personal experience, though it does have echoes in the human evolution of violence and chaos. The creature, though benevolent and longing to connect with humanity, was always met with rejection, both from his own creator as well as anyone he encountered, which led to bad experiences and even death on the creature's part. This is why the creature took so much time and care when it came to approaching the DeLacy family. He studied them daily for months in hopes of having the best chance at a good encounter and hopefully acceptance. He learned their names, their daily habits, and how to speak properly so that he could articulate himself in the hopes that they wouldn't see him as a monster like everyone else did. He even secretly helped them, doing tasks to lessen their burden like shoveling snow and collecting firewood every day for them. To him, their life at the cottage is everything he wants to be a part of, a warm and loving family. And though he is physically near them in his hovel, he is aware how large the divide between their worlds are. To him, they are a warm cabin in a cold night that never ends. And when he finally approaches them, ready to make that wanted connection and explain his story and reveal himself as their secret helper, a carefully crafted approach months in the making, he is met with immediate violence and rejection. They reacted in anger and tears and saw him as nothing more than a monster. And in that moment, he was too overwhelmed to articulate himself, because though he is very intelligent, he is still a child, just about a year old by that point. They then drove him out and abandoned their cottage, never to return. The creature carefully built a bridge to connect him to the world, piece by piece, but once he was ready to step on it, it collapsed underneath him. This severed his last connection with hope and his last chance to be a part of the world. If this didn't work, nothing will. It is at this point that the creature demands a companion. My companion will be of the same nature as myself, and will be content with the same fare. We shall make our bed of dried leaves. The sun will shine on us as on man, and will ripen our food. The picture I present to you is peaceful and human, and you must feel that you could deny it only in the wantingness of power and cruelty. A female counterpart with whom he can share his life. He promises that, once she is brought to life, the two of them will flee to the remote jungles of South America, never to be seen by mankind again. If you consent, neither you nor any other human being shall ever see us again. I will go to the vast wilds of South America. My food is not that of man. I do not destroy the lamb and the kid to glut my appetite. Acorns and berries afford me sufficient nourishment. Reluctantly, Frankenstein agrees, but when the moment comes to animate her, he has a last-minute change of mind and violently destroys her body in front of the creature. This act shatters the creature completely, transforming his grief into rage and setting in motion his cycle of revenge. I will revenge my injuries. If I cannot inspire love, I will cause fear, and chiefly towards you, my arch-enemy, because my creator, do I swear indistinguishable hatred. Have a care, I will work at your destruction, nor finish until I desolate your heart, so that you shall curse the hour of your birth. His pain, born from rejection and loneliness, transforms into rage, a pattern echoed across human history. What begins as personal hurt turns into a need to inflict hurt in return, the same way early tribal conflicts escalated into battles, and battles into war. Violence begets violence, passed down through generations, justified by the pain that came before. In this way, the creature becomes a mirror to mankind itself, both victim and perpetrator, caught in this cycle of revenge. The fallen angel becomes a malignant devil, yet even that enemy of God and man had friends and associates in his desolation. I am alone. Evil henceforth became my good. Now that we are in this fallen state, both the creature and humanity live in a loss of harmony. The creature doesn't relate to mankind anymore because he sees us as connected to nature and God, which he is not, and as having our own place in the universe and belonging. Though in reality, most people today feel just as the creature does, a separation from nature and the animal kingdom. The love between one another that he sees and expects for himself is not always had. And the attempt of having a connection to God and the universe is one of the hardest struggles of human life today. The creature really sees us in the way that we see the idealized version of ourselves. Later on, the creature's journey ends in self-isolation in the Arctic, where he finally abandons the cycle of revenge after Victor Frankenstein's death. In some of his last words, he acknowledges that his vengeance has already fulfilled itself. Fear not that I shall be the instrument of future mischief. My work is nearly complete. Neither yours nor any man's death is needed to consummate this deed. It is already done. Mary Shelley beautifully captured one of the innermost struggles of humanity. In doing so, she created one of the most sympathetic and psychologically complex characters in all of literature and helped create the genre of science fiction as a whole. Shelley masterfully captures the creature's profound struggle for identity, belonging, and compassion in a world that condemns him solely for his appearance. Through his loneliness, yearning for connection, and tragic descent from innocence into vengeance, she reveals the devastating effects of baseless rejection and thoughtless violence. Frankenstein also serves as a warning against those who fly too close to the sun playing God, the eternal lesson of what comes from the human separation from divinity and natural order and the results of that aspiration. God made man, man made this. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. There are more like this coming soon.